Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public service announcement. For regular viewers and listeners of AWI Pod, please do not be offended, as this program contains good wrestling.
It's my life in the box in front of me. Taking talk in my arms is the soul of me. You walk by, ask to see me laying face down.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. This is episode 17 of Warring to Attitude. I am your host, Brent Piles, and as you know, I do not war to attitude alone. I have got the ballroom brawl and disco dance and dynamite stretching intercontinental playboy folks. He's more over than throwing fireballs. GA Wrestling Nut, Glenn Abbott. Glenn, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Well, as far as I know, I feel all right anyway. But we won't go into that. We won't go into that.
That's all that we can ask for and hope for, Glenn, is that we feel okay. So
Yes.
yeah, so we're gonna war to some attitude here in a second, but we wanted to discuss a little bit of football action that took place this weekend for both of our respective countries.
Yes. Well, not just football. England have been out pillaging and plundering the colonies and all over the place this weekend. The women and the men's cricket teams both beat Australia, which is always a good thing.
How long did that Australia-England match go for? How many days?
4.
Okay.
Well, 3 technically, because one day got basically rained off.
Oh, okay.
It was supposed to have been 5 days, but they got it all done in 4 with a day off for rain. So it was like 3.5 days really. They got it all done.
Which is a good thing or a bad thing depending on how you look at it. If you want a
It's a good
long match, maybe you bought day 4 tickets and now you won't get to go.
Day 5. Yeah, there's some of the traditionalists that love the 5-day. Everybody's sleeping through a couple of days and just grinding out, aren't happy with the way that the game is being played at the moment. But us that like the shorter version of the game and a bit of excitement are enjoying the fact that England are going out there and they're playing these teams, although they're test matches, they're treating it like one-day games and going out there and trying to smash as many runs as they can in one day.
That sounds like the best option. I mean, if you're a boxer, right, you want to go in there and knock that motherfucker out as quick as possible, right? You ain't trying to go in there and dance around unless you're Floyd Mayweather.
That's it. You know, I'm not one of those that I'm happy if it ends in 3 days.
Right.
As long as the results are right way, of course.
See, like they did that. They kind of did they make like rules to sort of speed up the game? Have they done that over the years?
Not the test matches, no.
Okay. But like in the
no,
World
they're
Cup
still
and stuff.
But they're different, shorter versions of the game.
Okay.
They've brought in that make it more fun.
Yeah, so the baseball over here, you guys call it rounders, I believe, over in the UK.
No, it's a totally different thing.
It's a totally different thing? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so they just instituted this new thing. It's called the pitch clock. So you have to, the pitcher has to pitch the ball before the pitch clock expires. And a lot of traditional baseball fans don't like that because they don't like how it whatever. But I enjoy it because it makes sure that the game doesn't go 4 or 5 hours. It makes sure that the game's going to be over in 2 or 3 hours. And me personally, I like that better.
Exactly. Yeah. They did do that with the long version of the cricket game. They do fine teams now if they don't get so many overs in a day or in an allotted time period. So it makes them hurry up a bit.
Right. Yeah. So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. Anyway, on to the football.
Yeah, I know nothing about cricket.
Our under-21 England international team are now the European champions. They beat the Spaniards on Saturday 1-0.
One of our gunners was on the team, right, Glenn?
Yeah, Emil Smith-Rowe was part of that team. He got himself a nice under-21 European Championship winning medal.
Not a bad way to start your career.
No, certainly not. And it also gives it a nice bit of boost going into the new season.
Absolutely, pal. Which I am much anticipating. This is gonna be my first season as a full-fledged Arsenal supporter, so I'm excited. And then the United States national soccer team, the men's team, is currently in the CONCACAF Gold Cup, and last night they took on Canada in what can only be described as a knockdown, drag out. 2-2, which we end up winning in penalties. I believe we won it 5-3. Thank the Lord for goalkeeper Matt Turner, or we would be up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. That's for sure.
What was it? 2-2 in red cards as well, wasn't it?
I don't think they actually handed out any reds, but they did hand out a lot of yellows.
No, he sent people off on the sidelines.
Oh, was it a hole when they wouldn't move back to the center? Yeah. So we get to the penalty shootout, right? And both teams, the Canadian team and the United States team, decided it's time to act like children because the referee wanted them to move back to the center line, and they're both going, well, we're not moving until they move, and we're not moving until they move. If they move, we'll move. I said, we're all acting like fucking kids right now, really? Just fucking move back and shut up. Maybe that's the father in me.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it was we definitely didn't deserve to win.
Neither team deserved to win, to be honest.
Well,
the Canadians had two attacks the whole match and scored 2 goals.
And they could have scored a lot more because we were giving them way too much space on the outside. And every time they started to get on the ball, because it looked like they were going straight for the goal. And then that last goal that they scored was just so poorly defended.
Yep.
Not to take anything away from the Canadian striker, because that was a hell of a strike, but it was also really poorly defended.
Like your second goal, that was a hell of a strike by the defender.
Yeah. So we go
They
down.
always say there's own goals are never bad goals. They always seem to be blinding good goals. Own goals. Yeah. If a striker had got it, they'd say, "Oh, what a great goal!"
Yeah. It's been a bit unfortunate. The U.S. guy. First of all, Matt Turner does it again. I mean, he's really the one that got us into the extra time. I mean, the penalty shootout anyway, because he sends a beautiful ball in. One of our guys kicks it at their goal. He saves it with his arm, but unfortunately, when he does that, it goes right into the chest of one of his defenders and rolls into their goal. And we managed to get into a penalty shootout at 2-2. And now I don't have a good feeling about our upcoming battle against Panama on Wednesday. And then if we happen to win that and then get into the final against either Jamaica or Mexico, I don't know how that's going to go either, especially after this game with Canada. It was a real mess.
Like I said to you, they can't play any worse.
That's true, Glenn, but let's not try to fucking antagonize them into doing that. We don't want them to take that as a challenge.
Okay.
But anyway, Glenn, let's stop talking about the legitimate sports, at least as legitimate as far as we know, and we will get the not so legitimate sports, the attitude of the war, the warring to attitude. It is Raw's War from March 30th, 1997. We are at the Civic Center in Peoria, Illinois. Glenn, have you heard anything about Peoria, Illinois in your life?
I had, but this looked like a theater.
It did. It really had a different sort of vibe to it, didn't it?
It did.
So this arena, the Civic Center in Peoria, Illinois, opened in 1982, and it used to hold many wrestling events in the late 80s, but has not held a wrestling event from WWE since August of 2012, and its last wrestling event was a TNA show in 2013. So it's been a long time since they saw any wrestling action in Peoria. But if you live in the Peoria area and you want to go to the Civic Center and catch a concert, you can see R&B singer Monica on Saturday, August the 19th. Glenn, have you ever heard of Monica?
No.
You never heard the song "The Boy Is Mine"?
Yes, but I didn't know that was Monica.
That is Monica and Brandy, I believe, are in that song. She also sings such songs as "Down on the First Night." Also, what is I don't know. I'm not gonna start. I was gonna sing the song, but I don't want to, take it for that. So, if you live in Peoria, Brandon Banks, maybe you could head on down to Peoria and check out the Monica concert.
Yeah.
So they kick off the show by giving us a recap of the Iron Man match that was the Bret Hart Shawn Michaels segment from last week.
Yeah.
I'm a bit shocked they didn't tell us anything about like what happened as Raw went off the air last week. Like they didn't even mention it at first. Like I figured that's
No.
the first place they would go, but they didn't.
No, they saved that for later.
Yeah.
So, I honestly thought as this opened, this was because they didn't even build up to this being a match. And considering this is the European title match, I thought Owen Hart was coming out to cut a promo.
I did too. When he first started coming, I was like, oh, he's gonna come on and talk first. Okay.
Yeah. That's how I felt. But then Davey comes out. They decide that then they're going to tell us that this is the European title match.
Yeah, nice of him to tell us. A hell of a way to start the show, though. Owen immediately just starts attacking Davey before he can get him into the ring, slamming him into the ring post. Really good, hard-hitting match between these two.
Yeah. Owen, he really went at Davey, didn't he? Busted his nose open and everything within the first couple of minutes.
Oh, yeah, Owen wanted to fight Davey like he was sleeping with his sister. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. Yeah, Owen hits a top rope drop kick. He goes for a top rope drop kick, but Bulldog catches him, and then he locks him in a sharpshooter. But then, of course, Owen Hart knows how to counter the sharpshooter, so he does it with a beautiful enziguri. Yeah. Before
that, though, there was a wonderful bit that Owen amazingly gets Davey into a pole driver, pole drives him, and they go to an ad break.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And then you come back for the ad break. Owen's on the top rope.
Yeah, you're like, he just got pole driven. How is he on the top rope?
Yeah.
We'll be back. The cameras are That's what sounds when Vince goes to commercial break. We also get the answer to the trivia question, Glenn, of who was the first person to suplex someone on the Steel Rawless War ramp, and that is the British Bulldog, did it to Owen Hart.
Yeah.
On March 31st, 1997. That was the first time it ever happened.
Yeah. I'm sure it wasn't, but
I think it was, and that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Okie.
Thanks, Glenn. Yeah, they really pulled out all the stops in this match. We even get a ref bump. Owen goes out and gets the steel chair, but Bulldog takes it from him, and he's just about to use it on him. But then Bret Hart hits the ring and does like a double leg takedown on Bulldog and gets the chair away from him. Bret's trying to like break the two guys up here as they're still trying to go after each other. And I'm thinking, please God, don't let Bret Hart talk for 20 minutes.
No. Thankfully he didn't.
Thank God he didn't. And let's hear a little bit of what Bret had to say to his family members here.
Yes.
You're talking about a country that's based its entire history on brother against brother. They got talk shows all over this country of families airing out their family problems because they all hate each other. And that's what they've done. They've taken our family and turned us into a bunch of haters. Look what they've done to you and me. I was the one that got you to the World Wrestling Federation. Yeah, you laugh. They've pushed you and they push you and they push you. They push me, they pushed us against each other. And they've driven this wedge. Owen, I've known you since you were a baby. I dressed you for school. I dressed you for school every day. There's only two people in the whole family that really excelled in wrestling. It was you and me, and they turned us against each other. Owen, Davey, I'm asking you for your help because I need you. Owen, I want you to hear me, and I want you to hear me loud and clear. And I don't care about these people, not anymore. I love you.
So there you go. Bret Hart's plea to his brother and brother-in-law he needs their help, Glenn, he said.
I know. How bad a mother must Helen Hart be? We all know that Stu was a bastard, but Bret seemed to be the one that was having to take care of Owen all the time.
That's how he made it sound, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Glenn, they did have upwards of 86 children, so maybe she was just preoccupied.
Yeah. Very true.
This brought the king to tears, which is great.
Yeah.
And I always find it funny when one brother says to another brother, "I've known you since you were a baby." Well, I would fucking hope so.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got the Hart family together, which is a good thing.
So the family is all back together again, and that can only mean good wrestling content to come, Glenn. And so we're happy about that. We don't necessarily care so much about the family getting back together. We don't care about that. I'm American. I don't care about family values. You heard Bret Hart.
Yeah. They really got up JR's goat, didn't it? He got really upset over that.
He really did. Yeah, he wasn't very happy with that, old JR. But I guess he shouldn't be. He's a red-blooded Oklahoman, so he should be mad anytime. Glenn, I cannot tell you the sheer anger that I would get as a 12, 13-year-old when Bret Hart would cut those sort of promos. I would get so mad. Like, I will talk about it when we watch the next pay-per-view, the Revenge of the Taker pay-per-view. I watched this with some of my friends, and this literally made us stop being friends. For a while. This whole thing made us stop being friends. We'll talk about that at a later date. But yeah, that used to get me so fired up when America.
Oh, for those days where you used to think that.
I know. Now it's like, yeah, nothing can make me mad. You know what makes me mad, Glenn? When wrestlers aren't safe.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So next up, Glenn, we get some more AAA action. It is El Mastro.
First of all, we get the Queen of Skelees out.
Oh, yeah.
What was it? They called her the Queen of something space, and I put that she's the Queen of space.
She's the Queen of Cell Block C.
It is now.
Damn it, Glenn! I tried to take the high road, but you drug me. You drug me into the pool. Anyway,
we get a Power Ranger fight anyway.
Yeah, it's a Power Ranger fight. Sunny comes out here because I guess she's an expert on Spanish or AAA. I don't know. She also gave us a Spanish lesson, which is not
some sort of A.
I literally put in all capital letters, going, "I hate my life watching this."
I hands up, peek behind the curtain. I didn't even bother watching this. I skipped through it.
Well, Glenn, you were right. You made the right decision because nothing happened. El Mascaro wins in a match that I would call a mess.
It looked it right from the beginning, and I thought this is going to be a typical two bouncy guys bouncing about. Nothing interesting happening. I don't know why he's bothering with this AAA nonsense.
Yeah, I don't know why we're still doing it. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. So the next thing is a promo from LOD, and I gotta know why they always got to yell at me.
Yeah, I do.
What did I ever do to you, Animal and Hawk, that every time I see you, you gotta scream at me? So Animal starts screaming about a bunch of nonsense about how they're gonna win the tag team titles at In Your House, and then the real fun starts when Hawk gets on the mic. I can't. Oh, yeah. I really can't do this any justice, so we'll just let him say it.
Let him do it. Yeah.
Well, I and Animal are personally going to knock the doggy dumplings right out of the Bulldog. And then, after the dumplings are dropped, we are going to stinking kick the phlegm out of every corpuscle and that sticking Owen Hart's sticky body. Do you like it so far? Well, what a rock.
Yeah.
Rush.
What the fuck was he talking about?
I guess they said it with Davies Doggy Doodles or something.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell was going on with Owen Hart. It's something about his purples. I don't know. I'd like, Glenn. I'd like to have Psycho sit in a room with Hawk and just have them scream at each other. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be gold, wouldn't it? Absolute gold.
That would be amazing. Next is it's the fucking Honky Tonk Man because
it's again
without him. How could?
Hopefully this is the last we see of him for a while.
Oh, fuck no, Glenn. He'll be back next week, that son of a bitch. He's like fucking herpes. He never goes away. He's always coming back. I put in here, I really hope he finds what he's looking for so he can go the fuck away. But then, Glenn, we hear the sweet sounds of the greatest song that's ever made because
we get
Double J and Jesse James.
I got the note here. Hulky out, Jesse James out, being a Double J tribute band.
He was spending this day working hard on the go because his hands on the clock are spinning too slow. He also had a guest. You guessed young man.
How did they ever believe the 2 times I've heard him sing that live that he dubbed for Jeff Jarrett?
I don't know, Glenn. That's what they say happened.
I know. He's a worse singer than Jeff Jarrett.
Let me let you in on a little secret, Glenn. It was me. It's me. I'm singing the goddamn song. It's neither one of them. I sang it.
Oh, good.
I was 12 or 11 at that time, but it was me. I sang it.
Did a good job as well.
It was me, Abbott. It was me all along, Abbott.
Spend my days working on the go.
That's good. At least I'm not the only one singing it all the time. I actually haven't sang it in a while. It's the first time I'd sang it in a while. So yeah, Jesse James is going to take on some jobber. I don't know who. I don't know what.
Jerry Fox. It's Jerry Fox.
I believe
yes, I did make
on an episode of Superstars that we've watched.
He has, yes. Okay. And that's why I made a note of the name because I thought he looks familiar.
I thought he looked like a slimmer Hugh Morris.
Yeah.
Jerry Fox. And it sounded like old Honky Tonk Man was impressed with Double J here, wasn't he?
He was, yes. And he's got down by his side of him his heirloom.
Yeah. Not a family heirloom, a family heirloom. Yeah. After Double J gets the win over not so Hugh Morris here, Honky gets in the ring and he says he's gone on this search to find the greatest of all time. And I laughed like hell when Vince says, "It's been a while." Yes, Vince, it's been a long while. True words have never been said by Mr. McMahon. He says you'll look great with jet black hair and it'll help him grow some sideburns. And Honky wants to give Double J his guitar. So it looks like he's going to make Double J the new Honky Tonk Man if Jesse wants it. It looks like Jesse might take it, but
I was disappointed. I thought he was boing him over the head with it, but he didn't. He just smashed it up. The heirloom got made into matchsticks.
Yeah, he smashes the guitar because apparently he doesn't give a fuck about Honky Tonk Man's family heirlooms. He then tells him it's a bit out of tune. And then walks away.
Just handed him the neck.
Yeah.
It's a bit out of tune.
I was also just disappointed, Glenn, but for a different reason, because I was hoping Double J would take him up on his offer and all this could end. But unfortunately, it's going to keep on going.
Well, Double J's got bigger fish to fry.
And then, Glenn, the Nation of Domination makes their way out to the ring. This is the first time I ever saw the White Rappers without their hats on, and I got to say, they got shitty haircuts. Their haircuts. Good Lord.
That's why they wear hats.
And why they always should wear hats. It's so Savio Vega and Crush are going to take on Rod Bell and Adam O'Brien. Another jobber special here.
Yeah, it's another superstars match.
Yep. They also inform us that Farouk is still out with a lacerated kidney or something like that. I think they said concussion.
I don't think the fact that those two guys probably paid a pittance, had the crap beaten out of them, and they didn't even manage to get the satisfaction of saying to their family and friends, "Look, we were on TV, you watch this." Because the whole thing was putting over Shawn Michaels.
Yep. That's exactly what happened. They got a phone call from Shawn Michaels. They asked him about Bret Hart. He basically says he doesn't want to talk on the phone about it, but he'll be at Raw next week. Like Glenn said, the match did not matter one single iota. Nobody gave a fuck about the match, not even the people in the ring. And then they tell us about Ken Shamrock. He's going to have apparently a no-holds-barred exhibition next week on Raw. I don't know what that means exactly. So I guess we'll find out.
Basically, they don't trust him to wrestle yet, but he could break a few bones if he wants.
Right. I mean, like, who's going to be in this exhibition with him? Is it going to be Jerry Fox, Mike Bell, and Davey O'Brien? Is that?
Yeah.
Because I won't be impressed by that. I just won't be. So they're teasing this whole Paul Bearer Undertaker segment later in the show.
Yeah. And then we go to a break. And you come back from the break, which is they always seem to do as the second half, is you get the full Raw intro with all the pyro and everything. And Vince says, looking back on hindsight, the most stupidest thing he had ever said on commentary, which was explosion, confusion, concussion.
What?
Exactly.
Sir, do you have a concussion? Are you trying to tell us something? The explosion made you confused, and now you have a concussion. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I rewound that 3 times. I was like, what did this motherfucker say? What?
Especially not that far down the line where he's being hauled his ass into court over concussion bloody issues.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I didn't even think of that one. Yeah. Concussion. Confusion. Yeah, that was the strangest part of this whole fucking show was that 13 seconds. That was so weird.
It was.
And then Paul Bearer starts making his way down to the ring. They show us from what we missed last week was basically Paul Bearer begging the Undertaker to take him back, and then Mankind begging for Paul Bearer to take him back. It was a whole weird sort of scenario happening here.
And why was the casket at ringside?
Yeah, and when did the because like they went to commercial break, came back, and the casket was already there, and I didn't even see when they got pushed out there. So yeah, I understand that. I like when the Undertaker comes down to the ring though. This ain't the Undertaker's first rodeo, and he's seeing shit pop out of caskets, and he's gonna lock that motherfucker.
He locked that thing up. Yeah, shame he didn't check under the ring as well though.
Yeah, he should have. He should have thought of that one too. If he's an Undertaker, basically, Paul Bearer is sucking up to the Undertaker because he's the champion now, and he wants to manage the champion. Taker comes out to the ring. He says he can forget betrayal. He can never forget betrayal, but he might be able to forgive it. The Undertaker says he does owe Paul Bearer for everything that they did together when they were together. And then it looks like he is going to get back together with Paul Bearer. He looks like he's going to. He presents him the championship belt, but then what else does he present him with, Glenn?
A chokeslam.
Yes, he presents him with many punches to the face and a chokeslam.
Yeah.
And then he starts chasing Paul around the ring, and all of a sudden he's got the urn in his hand. He's about to hit Paul Bearer on the head with the urn, and then Mankind comes from under the ring, and he threw a fucking fireball. I'm going to say it again. He threw a fucking fireball like Mario in the Undertaker's face.
Yeah. Fireball came out of the bloody claw. Mandible claw.
And I've seen some fireball spots in wrestling that haven't worked, and this one was really well done. This was a really good fireball spot.
It was.
This wasn't like Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior 1998 Halloween Havoc fireball.
No. That one actually looked like Undertaker had singed eyebrows at the end of that.
Yeah, definitely. And then who could come to save the Undertaker, Glenn? Only one man.
Oh yeah, of course. The man who's been a better rival to him, who lost the championship to him. Sid.
Yeah. I did not understand that. All of a sudden, Sid is the voice of reason.
Yeah.
I mean, chased off Bret Hart last week when he was beating up on Shawn Michaels, which I thought they hated each other.
Yeah.
He comes there and saves the Undertaker. Why? I don't know. Maybe they don't like each other either. I guess he just hates Mankind. I don't know. Sid's like, I will not stand for injustice.
I think that was what it was. He was after Mankind more. But he should still have a grievance with the Undertaker. He shouldn't be worried about Mankind.
Especially with the way he lost the belt to the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Like he had some help from Bret Hart, even though, obviously
that's right.
He didn't ask for Bret Hart's help, but he did. So you figure Sid would have some animosity towards him, but I guess not. So Taker's blind and he's falling all over the place. then we have to, Glenn, after what we've just seen, we have to have someone speak to us and tell us and calm us down. And only one man can do that, and that's Psycho Sid.
Of course.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, two-time WWF champion, Psycho Sid. Your reaction to what we just saw, Sid?
Well, I'm going to tell you, Vince McMahon, this is a message to you, mankind. If you want to play with fire, you're dealing with someone that knows exactly what to do with fire. See, your problem is you're messing with The Undertaker, and that was your mistake. Just like Bret Hart messed with Psycho Sid, and that was his mistake. Now I'm going to say something. At WrestleMania 13, at that night, yes, The Undertaker was a better man than me, but he will always be a better man than you. And you will play with fire. Well, you will play with fire with The Undertaker, and you will burn in hell.
Comments from former.
Yep. So, I mean, that sums it up, right?
That's perfectly.
Puts it all in perspective. Usually it's when you play with fire, you get burned, but not Psycho Sid. You had to take it to another level.
Yeah. And when did he suddenly become a face?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when that happened, but it did. And then he's like, you're messing with somebody who knows what to do with fire. Is the fireman?
Yeah.
You're a fireman, Sid? Is that what you told me?
They're going to bring in Firebreaker Chip.
Maybe that's it. Maybe they're going to bring in Firebreaker Chip to take on Mankind. That'll really be a seller for pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And next up, it's a grudge match, Glenn. It is Goldust taking on Hunter S. Helmsley. Marlena is at home nursing the ribs, and Chyna's not allowed at ringside, I guess. Maybe.
Again.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Of course, Goldust charges out to the ring and starts working Triple H over. We watched a few matches between these guys. Where does this one rank on your Triple H Goldust list?
I would say near the bottom. It was just a carbon copy of what's gone before. It was nothing really innovative in it.
No.
And all it was a vehicle to get to the end, which I did enjoy, by the way.
Yeah, the match wasn't all that great. I figured at this point you should put these guys in like a no DQ match or a cage match or something along those lines, not just a regular one-on-one contest, because Chyna does come out and she does make her way to the ring and she does get into the ring and start beating the shit out of Goldust. They start pushing down referees. Hunter pushes down Pat Patterson, and Pat Patterson responds by kicking the shit out of Triple H, which is the best part of maybe the whole show.
Yeah, and then Chyna beating the crap out of Pat Patterson.
The best part of this is Pat Patterson is firing up on Triple H. He's Triple H. They got about 8 referees on Chyna. She throws them all off like the 1996 Fiesta Bowl. Charges at Pat Patterson. Yeah.
She scattered them to the 4 winds, didn't she?
That was my favorite part. Was when she
flew
everywhere. That was fucking amazing. It was like zebras are just flying all over the place. It was great. And they just start putting the boots to Pat Patterson until finally Goldust makes the save.
Yeah.
I know Pat Patterson had to love this.
Yeah, definitely. Just King sailing it beautifully. What's that old man doing in there? He's getting everything he deserves. He should be in there.
Yeah, that was really, really good. Then after that, they go to a commercial, come back. They give us a recap of what happened at the beginning of the show. And I was watching this while my wife was in the room, and she said, "Do you think wrestling fans are stupid?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "That happened 20 minutes ago, and now they have to remind you."
Yeah, they do. And they still do.
I
all think we've got the memories of Goldfish.
Yep, I said, yep, Glenn says the same thing all the time. And then we get to what was probably the best, other than Pat Patterson fighting with Triple H, the best segment of the show. Yeah. A little in-ring promo with Steve Austin. He says he never quit at WrestleMania, and even if Ken Shamrock strapped 20 hearing aids to his ears, he wouldn't have been able to hear it because I never said it.
So good.
He has a lot more gold than this, and so let's hear it.
Let's hear it from him, yeah.
On your best day, which was at WrestleMania, you never got the job done. The only reason Stone Cold went out was because my head was pumping out more blood than my heart was giving. You can think I'm a class act, or you can think I'm the biggest jackass you ever met. But the bottom line is, I ain't changing for nobody. All I set out to do when the bell rings is whip somebody's and you ain't gonna like how I do it, but I'm damn sure gonna get the job done.
That's so great.
I wonder why they beat our ass.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to do that nowadays at all.
No.
No, you can say shit on TV. They don't care.
Even back then, unless I'm misremembering, they used to say arse a lot.
Oh, they said ass all the time. Yeah. I think this one might have been recorded, and I think the recorded ones where they were able to know like when they were going to say it, they might have bleeped it out, and then they might have done that just for Peacock, but I don't know why they would do that for Peacock because
because it was the same on the network. So
oh yeah, and and they say bitch on TV all the time now, and nothing. Wrestling fans love nothing more than when someone lets out a good bitch. We love it. I don't know why, but we do. Anytime it's always bitch, right. Ooh. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's all that old trope. The other thing that gets wrestling fans over is calling some of his parentage into doubt.
Oh yeah. Bret Hart then shows up on the Titantron and he says he kicked Austin's ass at WrestleMania, whether he likes it or not. And Bret Hart then says he's finished with Austin. And then Austin says, you'll have to kill me to be finished with me. And then Austin says some more really good stuff. So I'm going to play it too.
One of these days, I'm going to look down at your grave and it's going to say, here lies Bret the Hitman Hart, the biggest piece of crap that ever walked the face of the earth. And the reason he's laying here is because Steve Austin whipped his pink and black, and that's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold said so.
Sometimes when they bleep it out, it makes it sound worse because we don't know is pink and black what.
Yeah.
what a Bret pink and black what this time Austin going to beat up? We don't know.
No.
We don't know because you bleeped it out. If he would have just said ass, we'd go, oh, he's going to kick his ass. But now we don't know. Now we're confused. So the main event of the evening, maybe a match that people didn't even know ever took place. Bret Hart battles Rocky Maivia for the Intercontinental Championship. They tell us during this match, Glenn, that Bret Hart will face off against Psycho Sid in your house, but I can tell you for a fact that ain't going to happen.
No, I love this. I enjoyed this match. You saw more of The Rock in this match than any other time during his early run.
I absolutely agree. It was nice to see him. He didn't have like that dumb, stupid, good guy smile on his face and
no
rah when he came out. He actually had a serious look on his face, like he was really here to kick somebody's ass.
There was one point where Bret's beating the shit out of him. I made the note is at that point Hogan would have hulked up, but Rocky rocked up.
Yeah,
he suddenly switched, and you saw The Rock. He did the pose. He did the pause before he hit the move.
They also showed Tony Atlas in the crowd, so Tony clearly has fired the van up and has started cruising the country following Rocky Maivia again.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, this match had some decent mat wrestling. It had some good back and forth. It was probably, other than the Davey Bulldog match, which we didn't get a finish to really at all, this was probably the best wrestling match on the show.
Yeah. And like I say, I enjoyed the fact that you didn't get that bland Rocky Maivia. You start getting the seeds of The Rock coming through, the cockiness.
Right. And it was probably a nice change of pace for him at this point.
Yeah.
Because the fans hated Bret Hart by this point, and so they were really behind Rocky. And
That's it.
USA, and you were really behind Rocky. Rocky starts to hit some big moves at the end. He hits a perfect plex. He hits. It was a beautiful perfect plex too for a 2 count.
It
Got up
was.
on the nice bridges of his toes. Really good job there. And then he hit a belly-to-belly suplex and a DDT. He even does that cross-body top rope body block that he does, but Bret Hart rolls through and almost gets a pin count.
My only doubt about him is his lineage. They always say that he's part of the Ano family, but Bret laid in a headbutt on there that wouldn't have taken out any Samoan that I know.
That's a good point.
He went down like a sack of spuds.
That should have gave Bret Hart an explosion.
He should have done it.
A concussion. You know
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Vince is just describing to us all the feelings that you have when you get headbutted by a Samoan person.
Samoa, yeah.
Yeah.
Apart from Rocky Maivia.
Apparently his head.
Who can't headbutt to save his life, obviously.
I think it's a stupid fucking haircut, is personally.
It might well be, yeah.
His head's probably a lot harder now. He doesn't have any hair.
Yeah.
And then Bret kind of suckers Rocky into the corner. He then punches him right in the guts, grabs his legs, and wraps him around the ring post and locks in that figure 4 that looks so goddamn devastating every time he does it. Bret will then get DQ'd for this. He, of course, won't break the hold. So Stone Cold Steve Austin comes down, starts beating up Bret Hart, which brings Bulldog and Owen down to the ring to start beating up Austin. And then LOD comes down to the ring, too.
Yeah.
Bret and his family leave through the crowd as Austin's giving chase as the show goes off the air. So I think we're seeing more of kind of like what we talked about with Rob and WrestleMania 13. If we're seeing some of the older stuff of wrestling mixed in with some of the newer stuff that we're going to kind of see.
Yeah. That's right. And there's more stories being told.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you could see how they've come out of WrestleMania 13 now, and they're leading up to is it Revenge of Taker?
Yeah.
In your house?
Yep.
So they're building stories for that now, which is good. It's a positive, that. But unfortunately, there's still Hunter-Hearst Helmsley and Goldust in the middle of it.
Yeah. And, the Nation of Domination versus Jobbers. The good news is, Glenn, they actually won a fucking match, the Nation of Domination. So that's something.
That is. They beat those Jobbers clean. Good on them.
Finally, after all these months, they finally got a fucking clean win, the Nation of Domination. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Glenn, who do we need to plug this week?
Just the usual suspects, really. The Bang Bang podcast with Andy. I'm booking the territory with Rob and Danny. DDT Wrestling with DC and Doc. And, of course, a new episode out today of the Doctor Who podcast with Danny and Si.
If you're into sci-fi, check out Doctor Who with Danny and Si. I like to say that now just because it's fun for me to do it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm sure they don't mind you plugging it like that.
Like I said, if you need an intro, I'm sure they don't, but I'm just kidding. Make sure you check out Sports Wire Radio. Give our buddy Thomas Bryce a follow at Thomas Bryce 2017 on the Twitter and Thomas Bryce 2020 on the Instagrams. And, of course, give our third member of our tag team, the Mayor of Canton, a follow on Twitter at Mayor of Canton, and check out A Meal with the Mayor every Wednesday, unless it's a holiday. Yeah. And make sure you check out A Cup of UK Heritage if you don't already, because it's a great show where we talk about great Heritage Cup matches. Go watch you some NXT UK if you've never watched it before, because it was incredible, and I miss it even to this day, and I probably will for the rest of my life. But that's it, Glenn. Now all to do is left for you to say goodbye.
Goodbye.